Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're doing something a little different than we're usually doing. No campaign here, but we are counting down the top 10 hardest campaigns in Total War Warhammer 3. Keep in mind that this is my personal opinion, so leave yours in the comments below. I am really curious what you guys' top 10 hardest campaigns is. And let's get right into this now. Starting off the list and coming in at number 10 might be somewhat surprising here. It's going to be Kyrill's Fate Weaver. Although he's a very powerful spellcaster lord, he has a really tough campaign. He is really surrounded by legendary lords. To your north you have Attackless, and of course you have the Lizardman close as well that's haunting you. Going to be Oxyotl. I recently played Kyrill's quite a bit. He's very fun, but he needs to get online. Like I said, he needs to get to his Infernal Gateway, and once he gets that, he's becoming one of the more powerful lords in the game. He can really take on armies all on his own, but he has a rough spot basically early on. Very low economy, almost no income, so you can hardly sustain multiple armies. But once you do, you obviously just steamroll the campaign. But you gotta really rely on Kyrill's early on. He is very powerful, like I said, so he has cooldown to his spells, more barrier replenishment delay, and of course the ambush defense chance, so that you do not really get ambushed by Oxyotl. So he can come online pretty quickly, but you need some elements for the campaign to really work out, and you need to establish yourself all the way down the south. I think it's a really fun campaign, that's for sure, but it's definitely a hard one. Coming in at number 9 on the list, it was really a coin toss between which of the factions from Bretonnia was actually going to be here. And it's going to be... So it was either going to be the Fey Enchanters or Alberic, but I'm going with Alberic for this list. I mean, they're all outdated. They really need a rework, so it really shows in the campaigns that we play here. But, you know, Alberic really has nothing going for him. He's not really that much of a unique lord. Fey Enchanter still has her spells going for her. And Alberic, well, he empowers the port settlements, etc. But you're basically stuck in the Lustrian jungle, dealing with Skull Taker and, of course, the Vampire Coast, as well as the lizards that don't really like you. So you're basically stuck there, fighting in terrain that you don't really want to find yourself in. He can be really fun if you like try to steamroll a bit. You can definitely just confederate the rest of the Bretonnian lords, but they usually get overrun, so Bretonnia is just in a rough position overall. Very rough campaign, especially with the recent addition, like I said, of Skulltaker. It's not going to get any easier. Coming in at number 8 on the list, a campaign that I honestly really like to play, but is very limiting, I must say. Going to be Marcus Wolfhard, the Hunt Marshals Expedition. Also, just like the previous entry, will be in Lustria. You see, Marcus, he can be really fun to play because, of course, he reduces the upkeep for his archers and huntsmen and has more ambush success chance as well as ambush defense chance, but he is very limited. He only has like his basic units that are recruitable early on, and with the reinforcements from the Empire, they can bring some powerful units to Lustria, but it's a really weird campaign because you get limited so often. The lizards absolutely hate your guts. You have Skulltaker. I mean, that's basically the catalyst in the area there. You also have Ricard close to you, so it's definitely not going to be an easy campaign. He is very fun to play, like I said, but you're gonna face some hardship when actually playing him here. But once you overcome all these difficulties, it's really rewarding. Coming in at number 7 on the list, it will be Nakari with the Seducers of Slaanesh. Honestly, it's going to not be that surprising here for you guys. It's another really outdated faction. Really not much going on for it. I mean, Slaanesh really hasn't received an update in a very long time. I don't even know if they had an update after the release. Of course, the Tides of Torment DLC will be coming at the end of the year, hopefully, if they don't delay it anymore. So I hope that the campaign becomes a little easier and not much of a slog that it currently is. Of course, you start in Old One, surrounded by legendary lords. You have Tyrion close to you, Alariel, you have Eltharion. It's not going to be fun at all. It's really just not even... I don't think it's even fun to play. I mean, your units are not really that overpowered compared to the rest of the Chaos Lords. So I wouldn't recommend this campaign at all. I think it's really difficult to play, especially on legendary difficulty. I mean, you can overcome it like always, but I don't think with all of the additions to other factions that this is a fun campaign to play. So I would just have to say to you guys, wait for the DLC to come out. And now coming in at number 6 on our list, almost halfway there. I don't know if you guys can guess it, but I recently played her. It's going to be Zarina Katarin. Yes, another really difficult campaign. Of course, really fun as well. I do really like Kislev, especially with the recent reworks. But that doesn't mean that this campaign becomes even easier. You're basically starting in a very rough position. Basically, everyone that you can ally with or that you can find useful isn't doing anything. Especially early on. I mean, you have your vampires to the south that usually dominate when you play Kislev. The Empire isn't really doing anything. You have Malachi Makaisen. He should be a real powerhouse in the north, but, well, he doesn't do anything either. So you're basically the last bastion for Chaos. And honestly, that's lore accurate, but still, it's going to be very rough getting through this campaign. And in my recent campaign that I played with her, I even had Azak coming in. He defeated the dwarf, so yeah. It can be very rough, and if you get on Druaga's bad side, you're completely surrounded. So you gotta fight a lot of battles, but you can also get really strong armies. I mean, they're very resilient, they almost never give up. So you can definitely get through this. But it's not, for me, a recommended first campaign, although it's pretty fun after the prologue to just jump into Zarina's campaign, but definitely recommend to go in at a lower difficulty maybe. And we're already halfway through our list here. Hopefully you guys like videos like this. I can do more like top 10 tier list videos if you guys really enjoy it. I do like making them to just provide a little bit of my knowledge or like perception of the game at this current state that it's in. So number 5 on the list. I know you guys are waiting in anticipation. I teased him in my easy campaigns, fun campaigns, but now it's really going to be a difficult one, and it's going to be Emperor of France. This really hurts me, but yeah, they recommend it as a, well, easy campaign to start with. A recommended first campaign. I definitely think you should skip that. He's very fun to play if you can get a hold on all of your provinces, especially the first province. But you have like Beastmen already coming in, you have Heinrich Kemmler to deal with, you have the vampires coming from the other side, so Vlad and Isabella. And once you finally get through, you also have Festus. It's just never ending. And your ally is basically the same as Zarina. So when you play Zarina, everyone else falls. Same thing with Call Franz here. You really don't get a good, well, footing in the Empire. But once you can get all of the elector counts together, it's really rewarding. And of course, when you can actually get there, and you saw that in my legendary campaign on the channel as well, you can summon the elector counts, and that just feels so good. Definitely check the videos out on my channel. Lots of legendary campaigns, but definitely Call France is something here. Coming in at number 4, so we're almost at the top 3 in my opinion. Of course, keep that in mind. You can always argue with me in the comments, but it's going to be Belegar Ironhammer. Another really fun campaign to play, really rewarding, but he has once again a faction effect that really just slows down the progress you can make in a campaign. So the dwarves are very powerful, of course, but yeah, the plus 50% upkeep until that Carrick 8 Peaks has been recaptured is a bit worrisome for your, well, your entire faction basically. I mean, he is strong. He starts off with the ancestor heroes for Clan Enrund, so you're basically very powerful early on already, but the upkeep increase is very, very difficult to deal with. Of course, you can trade Beeline to Carrick 8 peaks and hopefully you recapture that, but then you are in sort of a deficit if you look at other factions, especially with the recent addition of the greenskins there. And of course, always Skaven are going to be a problem in your campaign here with Clan Engrund. So basically, I would say try to get a good army together. Try to get your first provinces in order. And of course, you can cheese it a bit and take Skaven Blight. So you immediately take Clan Scryer down. Because Ikit Claw, well, he's a powerhouse. Definitely the most fun campaign I almost play in this game. Besides Archeon, of course. If you want to see that list, it's on the channel as well, most fun campaigns. But yeah, Belegar is quite difficult to play. But definitely check him out after you mastered a bit of the other dwarven races. And here we are, the top 3 most difficult campaigns in Total War Warhammer 3. The top 3 starts off with, in my opinion, Teclis. Teclis used to start at Lustria at the Star Tower, but he got placed on a really weird position here in the south, close to Kairos Fateweaver. And I honestly think it's a very rewarding campaign, but he isn't the best, I must say. He's a very powerful spellcaster and you can get thousands of kills with him specifically, but really the tempo of the campaign is sort of lacking here. What I did in my campaign is go straight to Kairos and try to take him out. The only problem with that is that everything is uninhabitable, so everything you take from Kairos, you actually get punished for it, basically. I did trade it over eventually to Oxyotl to get an alliance there. Otherwise, you're going to have a rough time. But then, after you have dealt with Kairos, which is no small feat, I must say, you have to deal with the greenskins up north. Burzak, the Great Green Prophet, will eventually come for you. And that's quite rough, because you're a very isolated lord. You have Krogar close to you, but yeah, if that coin toss fails, then he's getting overrun. So you basically are all on your own there. That's why it's a very difficult campaign. Greenskins can spam armies. Kairos is annoying. Just overall a pain to play. Number 2, some might agree, some might disagree. I made a video on this already as well. And like entire campaign I played with her, it's going to be High Queen Khalida. So in my campaign, I basically allied with Thorak and with Krogar, so they didn't really pose much of a threat to me, but I hear for some people that they just can't really get Thorak to ally with you. I think he even became a vassal in that campaign, but you also have to deal with Scarbrand. You're basically in a very rough position, because honestly the Tomb Kings are also a pretty outdated faction, I must say. And they can scale pretty well early on with their free armies, free units, but eventually you just hit a cap, because you can't get more than a certain amount of armies. And I mean, your units are very limiting eventually. So you can get a pretty good campaign with her, but I mean, the Legendary Lord, High Queen Khalida, isn't really that great either. With all the other Legendary Lords from the Tomb Kings, you have somewhat of an advantage that they are very powerful. I thought High Queen Khalida, I should say, was not strong at all. I suffered really doing much with her, but you can also get a good campaign, and then it's basically a blessing to play the Tomb Kings. But because I do like the faction, I just think that they need some reworks. And coming in at number 1, I don't know if you guys see this coming, but honestly, I won't let you guys wait any longer. It's going to be Boris Ursus. If you think someone else should have this spot, please leave it in the comments below. But I think this campaign is very, very rough. He basically has nothing going for him again. He starts with a very small settlement. You have Archeon to deal with. You have all the chaos crap around you. You have no one to rely on, basically. And that's the most difficult part of this campaign. Of course, you have a lot of buffs. So you're immune to chaos corruption and chaos waste attrition. Also, your melee attack and leadership are buffed when fighting, like the Chaos Warriors and the Demons of Chaos, Chaos Dwarf, Norska, but obviously everyone around you is hostile towards you, so you need to be a bit careful. And well, honestly, the rest of the Kislev forces are not really going to do anything. They will definitely fall. So if you don't really beeline straight for Kislev, then Katarine falls, and of course Konstantin will fall as well, so you're basically on your own. Of course, the dwarves won't do anything. Malachi Makaisen, I think the AI is really not that great. If you play him yourself, he's a great lord, but yeah, no one to rely on, basically. Very, very difficult campaign. You can really not get a good like basis in the north, because if you like go straight for Archeon, you get attacked from another side, and it takes some time to actually establish yourself there. Of course, it's a very, very fun campaign. I'm not gonna say it's a slog or anything. It's going to be fun to play and eventually just conquer everything with your bears, but he's definitely a very, very rough lord to play. And that's going to be it for my top 10 hardest campaigns at the moment in Total War Warhammer 3. In my own opinion. Of course, you can have a different opinion and leave that definitely in the comments below. Hopefully you guys like this video, and I will see you guys next time.